Hi everyone, my name is Shannon Maple, and this is my presentation on Ireland and the international community. The history of international relations in Ireland. Ireland has a rich history of being very interactive with other countries throughout the world, especially in Europe. The earliest interactions were during the 6th and 7th centuries. Irish Catholic missionaries founded many churches and centers of learning throughout Europe. Um, Also, Irish merchants, missionaries, and soldiers and sailors have interacted with other countries for centuries. And lastly, large-scale immigration in the 19th century to countries such as the United States, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, Argentina, and New Zealand kind of spread Irish, ideals and customs to different parts of the world. And they, kind of just spread the word that Ireland was a country and where it was and things like that that people might not have known until they might have got an Irish neighbor or friend that immigrated to their country. Ireland and the international community. Ireland has been a member of the United Nations since 1955. The United Nations organization is the cornerstone of Ireland's foreign policy. Ireland's foreign policy states that Ireland is committed to the maintenance of international peace and security under the United Nations Charter and respect for international law. I've also included the logo of the United Nations, in case anybody wasn't already aware of what it looks like. Just some extra information for you. Ireland and the European Union. Ireland joined the European Union in 1973. Joining the European Union transformed Ireland from an agricultural-based society to a country with a modern and technologically advanced economy. The European Union has a rotating presidency, and this means that the presidencies in the country in the presidency is kind of laid out. There's no voting or anything, and everyone knows who's going to be coming after the next one, after the previous one. And it was really interesting when I looked it up because actually this year from January to the end of this month, Ireland is actually in the presidency. They took over in January from Cyprus. So I thought that was kind of cool. That kind of coincided with our class. During Ireland's rotation in the presidency, one of their main goals is to further the development of deployable military capabilities in order to support the European Union's common security and defense policy. Since joining the European Union, Ireland has received over 60 billion euro, and this has really helped them out, and they've been using these funds to improve competitiveness internationally. Some of these funds are specifically focused on programs to improve infrastructure, research and development, and the promotion of social inclusion. This is a clip that I found on YouTube. It shows the transition from the Cyprus presidency to Ireland being in the European Union's presidency. This transformation took place in January. The clip is really short. It's only about 2 minutes, so just take a couple minutes and look at it after the presentation. It was very interesting, and it made the whole idea of the transformation very clear, and it kind of talks about Ireland's goals as far as what they want to achieve. It was very well done, so please take a look at it. Ireland and NATO. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in case any of you didn't already know that. Ireland is not a direct member of NATO, but they do participate in some of NATO's organizations and goals internationally. In 1999, Ireland joined NATO's Partnership for Peace and the Euro-Atlantic Partnership Council. In 2001, Ireland sort of stepped up their leadership as far as NATO, and through the Partnership for Peace Council, they joined the Partnership for Peace Planning and Review process. By joining the planning and review process, this helped to foster Ireland's interoperability of their forces in peacekeeping and humanitarian operations throughout the world. This is a quote from NATO's Secretary General, who stated that Ireland is not a member of NATO, but it is a very important partner. It shares NATO's values, and it shares NATO's commitment to strengthening the role of the United Nations as the grantor of international security and the rule of law. NATO and Ireland also share the same faith in freedom, dedication to democracy, and loyalty to the rule of law. And the Secretary General closed with, "We share the same determination to build a better world, one where we are all safer and more secure." He stated this during a talk when he was addressing security experts and media at the Institute of International and European Affairs. I thought it was important to include a slide focused on Ireland's military because, as we all know, a country's military plays a huge role in their international affairs, and we can see on the news all the time, things going on with different countries' militaries and how important they are. Ireland is very unique because they actually have a history of being militarily neutral. They are currently not a member of any military alliance, and their military is only used for peacekeeping and crisis management. Even to use the military for just the peacekeeping and crisis management, there has to be a United Nations mandate, government decision, and they must get approval from Parliament. I also included a picture I found on Google of the members of Ireland's military, but it was kind of interesting. Ireland and the international community. Ireland has supported NATO operations in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Irish Defensive Forces operate a peacekeeping school. The courses in the school are open to allies and partners of Ireland. One of the courses that they actually talked about, I think it was the Foreign Policy website, was a course on improvised explosive device disposal, and it said that this course has actually helped to protect soldiers and civilians in Afghanistan. So as you can see, courses are actually very useful, and they're put to good use by the Irish military and other militaries in countries that work with NATO. Ireland has also contributed to 10 Partnership Trust Fund projects. These Partnership Trust Fund projects are through NATO, and some of them include the destruction of mines in Montenegro and Serbia, the destruction of ammunition for small arms and light weapons in Albania, Montenegro, Serbia, and the Ukraine, and the removal of dangerous chemicals in Moldova. Ireland and the international community. Currently, Ireland is contributing to NATO-led peacekeeping in Kosovo and Afghanistan, and as in many other countries throughout the world, business leaders are currently forging new links with the Chinese and other potential Asian business partners. And I found on the Foreign Policy website that Ireland is actually sending trade delegations to India. And I thought it was also very interesting that in February, Anders Fogh Rasmussen became the first NATO Secretary General to visit Ireland. And I'm pretty sure the website said that it was like the first time in like 15 years that they had held this meeting, or whatever it was that he came to in Ireland for NATO. So that was very interesting. This is the link I found to the New York Times page on Ireland. It was really cool because I didn't know until I was doing this presentation that you can actually look at a specific country and see the stories that the New York Times has in relation to that country. And this is the page for Ireland. It was really cool because I think it kind of shows Ireland, stories and news and the things that they're doing from the perspective of another country, which happens to be us here in the United States. But it's really cool to take a second to look at it, turn the presentations over, and just kind of, look around. And the stories are really interesting. They're really up to date. They're all in chronological order, so easy to read, easy to find. And then these were just some of the key milestones that have kind of things that have contributed to the international relations in Ireland in the past years. It starts with in 1997, Ireland sends its first contingent of troops to support the NATO-led peacekeeping force in Bosnia and Herzegovina. In 2000, Ireland submits its first individual partnership program. In 2002, Irish staff personnel are assigned to the International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan. 2005, Ireland, along with several other allies and partners, respond to the request from the United States for assistance to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. In 2010, Ireland starts offering courses to international personnel in improved explosive device disposal. And in 2012, Ireland participates as an observer in the Cyber Coalition. I know a lot of these things I've already talked about previously in the presentation, but I thought it was just nice to kind of see it in a chart form so you can kind of see everything chronologically. These are the discussion questions that I came up with. Feel free to talk about other things, but they are, do you agree with Ireland's policy of being militarily neutral? How do you think immigration of citizens during the 19th century impacted Ireland today? And do you think that Ireland plays an active role in the international community, or do you think that they should be more active or less active? And these are my references. They're all very interesting. There's so much information out there as far as Ireland and the international community because, as we all know, there's interactions going on every single day, and there has been for centuries. So just kind of look through them. They're very easy to read, not like heavy reading or anything, but I think they're well worth the time and that you learn a lot. So I hope you liked my presentation. Let me know if you have any questions, and I can't wait to see what everybody says on the discussion board. Thank you.